Okay, hang on a second. Well, that didn't come up. How do I do that? Client ID, new lease.
If it's got the check mark, then you should already be connected. Because I think you've logged in before. If you've logged in before, then it shouldn't require a password again.
It was common, people would be in the loan process, everything would be approved, and they say, well, we just want to move some stuff into the garage. Can we do that? No, it's not your house.
Yep.
Do it. And then the deal falls through, we're in a huge mess.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Doing.
Doing. So,
Yes.
well, these are just either favorites or apparently frequently visited sites. So, oh my gosh, so I got eBay on here because I tried to, Cyber Monday. Not what I was looking at, not quite as good a deal as going into the store on Black Friday, but I was not going to traverse Black Friday. So eBay had some great deals on a Christmas present I was going for Becca. I have no idea what happened, but it continually declined my credit card.
And you already have it with eBay already, don't you?
I already have an account. The credit card, I hardly ever use eBay, so my card had expired, so I had to enter it again. But I don't know what was up with that, but it wasn't working. Tried it again and again, tried a different card, declined that card. It's linked to, then I tried PayPal, because I have a PayPal account, which is linked to your bank account. Decline that.
Wow.
Forget it. So then I went to, because it was a little more money because I had to pay tax, but I went to Target's website and was able to, but then Target declined it. And I was like, what's going on? Then immediately after Target declined it, I got an email, Chase fraud alert. And so it said, you recently tried to make a purchase. Is this legit? If it is, click yes. If not, click no. And if it is legit, we already declined that transaction, so you have to do it again. So I clicked yes, and I thought, well, maybe that's what was going on with eBay. So then I tried to do eBay again, and it still declined.
Oh.
So then I went to Target, and it worked. So Cyber Monday was really frustrating for me.
Was that maybe because there were so many people trying to do that?
I don't know. It kept saying that there was, because, eBay, there's only anywhere, there's only a certain number in stock. But it kept saying, there was still 60% left in stock, or 60% left used, which means, so there's about 40% left in stock. But anyway, so it kept declining. But eventually I got it, and it was a pickup. They wouldn't, for some reason, they wouldn't ship it. So went to Target last week and picked up the Christmas present.
Pickup.
Yeah.
Pickup truck.
No, pick up in store.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to pick it up.
Here's your own pickup.
Yeah. And and then when I checked out, this wasn't bad at all. This was the opposite of bad. I was a little worried on the other end because they just handed it to me. They didn't ask for, they asked for my driver's license, but they didn't need my credit card because I'd already entered that online. But I thought that because it said you won't be charged until you pick it up. So I thought maybe that was just to reserve it. He's like, here you go, we'll email you a receipt. So,
wow.
And they did. About 30 seconds later, as I walked up, my phone beeped at me and I had a receipt from Target. So,
Speaking of problems,
yes.
I have a letter here from PayPal, which says in part that they emailed me a while back ago, which was about 2 months or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, had an issue with my PayPal account. And it may be frustrating, full access to your PayPal account. You want to work with me to fix the problem. Well, they're saying there's some unusual activity recently. Well, I haven't used that in probably a year.
Yeah, it's most likely fraudulent.
This one?
That email. Yeah, if you actually click, even though it says because the way email works,
This is what it looks like here.
yeah, they make it look very professional. So, so this says the way email works now is if you look right here, it says Project Fi. Dang it, I can't highlight it, but right there it says Project Fi. Give me just a second. Let me pull this up for people watching online. No, maybe not. I don't want that on the web. So anyway, it says Project Fi, but when you actually click on it, so that's the name that the person or company has put on this. Just like if you get one from me, it'll say Brian Weinberger or something like that. It doesn't actually show you the actual email address, and that's how people get spoofed all the time with emails. So if you actually click on the name of the email that sent you, it's noreply@google.com. So fairly straightforward, obviously legit. Plus, I signed up for something, and so they replied saying, thanks for your interest. No, it's legit. And so always click on the email address, because if I guarantee that, and maybe not, but I can almost guarantee that if you click on the name of that email, it's going to come up with some funky email address.
It says service@paypal.com other. Add VIP, create a contract to existing. Because that should be right then, correct?
It sounds.
I pushed on that.
Service@paypal.com.
Like I did that.
Well, so yeah, that looks legit. But I would not.
Like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, I've already done this stuff.
I think what most likely may happen is that if you haven't used it in a year, your credit card may have been expired, and maybe something as simple as that. But even if it seems legit and the email seems legit, my advice that I've always given to people here and when people ask is go to PayPal's website. Never go through an email. Because the email, even though it looks legit, may not be.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, Becca and I got an email in her inbox that was from Chase when we were still banking with Chase, saying that our account had been compromised and please click here and we'll help you secure it again. And I hadn't at that point, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I was not in the mindset of always looking at what's behind that name.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called Chase just because I thought, you know what, nothing's, we looked up, we went online just to check on our own, went into our bank account, everything looked normal, all the debits and transactions and things were all legit. And so I called them and they said, we didn't send that to you, that's fraudulent. Please forward it to this email address. So my recommendation for people is to always go to the website. Unless you specifically, like I specifically signed up for this Project Fi. And so I know I can trust clicking through any links in here, because I know that I signed up for it and 2 minutes later they emailed me an email.
And that's from PayPal.
No, this is from something else.
Oh.
But so unless you specifically signed up for something or you regularly get emails from this person or people or company or organization, I always suggest, 1, check to see what the actual email address is, and 2, if then it seems legit, go directly to the website. Pull up Safari, pull up Chrome, pull up Internet Explorer, Edge, whatever browser you use, Mozilla, Firefox, pull that up, go directly to PayPal. PayPal has a little alert center, little notification center on their website. And so if there is something going on, you should have a little almost like a one email from PayPal within their own system. And you can click on that and see if there really is something going on with your account.
Okay, because like I say, I've already responded to them once, and then I just got this one yesterday.
Right.
And I thought, they didn't ask me for the last one.
Yep. Which may mean that it's not actually legit.
this one here.
Right. So again, I would go directly to PayPal's website and see if there's anything on there that says some, credit card needs updating, your bank account, they want to re-verify your street address or something like that. I would try that first. Always try that first. Just like if something says you won something and you never signed up for it, you probably actually didn't win anything. Always be very careful.
Sandy wanted to know how to link her iPad to the printer.
You know what? A couple weeks ago, I think it was, maybe a month ago, I had said that iPads don't print to, only print to iPad-approved printers, and Becca proved me wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Aha.
So, I'll pull up the iPad anyway. So, let's get on here. Let's see what we can do.
I can see I'll be bringing my printer down here pretty quickly now. Because I still can't make mine work through it.
All right. So yeah, she proved me wrong. So not the other day, but 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Did she gloat on it? Or-
She always gloats.
I figured
No,
she would.
I mean, when she can figure out technology stuff that I don't know. There was something else. What was it? Just the other day. Dang it. But there was something else that she figured out, and I hadn't done that yet because it was, Google Forms. They've changed Google Forms, and Becca and I use Google Forms to send things out to the kids. So if we've got an event coming up, like the coffee shop on Wednesday nights, we can send out a form for them to sign their name and which Wednesdays they can come, and then it sends a spreadsheet. And so you can see, so-and-so is working these Wednesdays, they can bring soup and goodies these Wednesdays, etc. And so they changed that, and so now you don't, well, you do, and I didn't know that, but the way it looked like they started doing things was, excuse me, you then got like a pie charts of these people said yes or no to your yes or no question, or these people can work on these nights, and 3 people responded to this one, but it never said who. And so Becca said, you just go and click in the menu and click generate form or generate sheet. And then it brings up the old spreadsheet it used to. She's like, you didn't know that? I said, I hadn't tried it yet. She said, I knew something before you did. She was very excited about that. So yes, so if we go to Safari, and here I'll show, these were, of course they ended up, some of them didn't print right, but this is a craft that the kids and I did on a Wednesday night. We have our Lefsa, and sometimes we do things for fun, and it was a great time to talk. So it's called Cubicraft or Cubecraft, I don't know how to pronounce it with the extra E, but basically you print out this piece of paper on like cardstock, something heavier, and then you can make 3D little figures, paper figures of these different pop culture things. So like right here's the Flash.
We're talking about printing the iPad here.
Oh. Hey,
So then you click on download the template.
please, just half a cup.
Hopefully it works. Yep, so there we go. See? So there's the template, and you not to really get any too technical in this because this is not what we're actually going for.
Oh, yes,
But
please.
you cut that out and then fold it together, and you get a little 3D paper craft toy. So to print on the iPad, you see the little box with the up arrow?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your, I'm still good, thank you. That is your share button, I suppose. It's more than just share, but it's kind of your menu button.
This is on Safari?
Yeah, for iPad.
Okay.
So you click on that, and then you get all these options. I can I can text it to someone, I can email it to someone, I can send it to my MacBook Pro or Mark's MacBook Pro with AirDrop since we're all connected. Anyway, and so you can do all these different things with it on the top there, and then down here you can save the image, assign the picture to a contact, and then you keep scrolling and you get print. And then select a printer. Blah. So there's a printer. So then I would click on that printer, and it's very limited. It doesn't have nearly the options that you would have on a PC. But I could print double-sided in black and white. I could have it staple or punch it. I guess I do have lots of options. And I'm guessing that this is the our big copy machine in the room next door. There were 2 doors down. And pick paper size. And then I click print, and it works.
Okay.
So it has to be connected to, your printer has to be connected to the Wi-Fi network.
It is.
So it has to be, your printer has to be Wi-Fi enabled.
So it'll find it.
Yeah, it should be able to find it.
Cool. That's easy.
Yeah, we were at home, and I pulled that up, and it worked. It found our printer upstairs, which is a HP, I believe, printer. And I don't think that it's, well, this found this one, and that one's definitely not AirPrint,
That's really easy.
which is the Apple version. So I think they have just done it to any Wi-Fi enabled printer. So yeah, this button here is basically your share. It's your menu button basically. So you can message it, mail it. You know, if you find a recipe, if you find an article that you want to share with somebody. You know, I found a video online about cats and Christmas, and I know that, you know, Kathy's got several cats and absolutely loves them. So I clicked the message button and sent Kathy a text, and it includes the link to the video right there. And I said, thought you'd enjoy this. So.
Cool.
Is that then on the receiving end a hyperlink where she can click on it?
Yeah.
So can you print emails?
Yeah.
And how do you do that? If you-
Same basic concept. So here's that Project Fi. It's in the reply.
Okay.
It's in the reply menu,
Yeah.
which I thought it was. So, and I don't think this will work, but when we're done talking about printing, I'll tell you about this Project 5. It's interesting.
So,
Okay, to that site, you were at CrewCraft. I've got it up here. I've got the page open.
Yep.
And how did you get to go where you wanted it, where you just were?
Right here?
Yes.
All right, so these were fun. Most of the kids really enjoyed putting these together. I actually have a couple of them in my office right now. 3 or 4 of them, I think. It was just fun. It was really weird. I randomly found this online. Can't even remember how. And when I did, I just thought, that's kind of fun. So I got the itch to craft. And so for 3-4 days straight, I was printing them, cutting them out, folding. Had to go, Becca couldn't find her little crafting knife because you got these little white spots you have to cut out. And so I ran to the store and got a little X-Acto knife from Fred Meyer, and for some reason this is taking longer than it should.
Well, how did you get to that page though?
So on the main page, oh, there we go.
Okay, this is my main page here.
Oh, that's not the right website.
Oh,
It's CUBEECRAFT.
oh,
Cube E Craft.
so 2 E's.
Yeah, 2 E's. And that's why I was saying I don't know how you really pronounce it. So anyway, it's a whole bunch of pop culture stuff. Most of them from either like video games or TV shows.
Okay, I got to this page with it.
It's still not right.
so dear, is there an adapter? Something that's
Nope.
plug in?
Nope. Does it wirelessly.
Oh,
This is what the main page should look like.
so you've got the
Really?
formula
Yep.
that I can do that with this and print
Yeah.
it home.
As long as you have Safari on your iPad.
Yeah.
She does.
sorry,
Yeah, it's simple.
Oh, good.
So,
Well, I have to,
Wonderful.
but part of the one of the things I was going to say though is when I printed one of these out, and there isn't really any scaling, and so maybe it's because it was from a website, but it didn't scale the picture down, so it actually just printed until it couldn't print anymore, and then it just chopped off the edge of the image. So I had to actually go on my computer upstairs and reprint these specifically.
Okay, so like when I, in Lector and the program is attached
Yep.
to an email,
Mm-hmm.
I can go into that attachment and print
You should be able
without
to.
having to go to the PC.
Yep. You should. How well it exactly works, I don't know for sure. But see, here's a updated schedule. There's the little share menu button, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Print.
Oh,
Select your printer. It's never going to have a default, so you're always going to have to, I think, so you're always going to have to select it. It shows you the different pages. Again, double-sided color if you want, and then just have print.
cool.
And hopefully it'll print properly. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how.
well, I have to play with it, I think.
Yeah, you'll have to play with it, see how it works, but yeah. So there's a good potential that you won't have to move upstairs. If you get it on your iPad, you should just be able to print straight to your wireless printer.
Great.
As long as you're all connected. You'll have to be on the same network, so you can't be using your the Verizon cellular data, because then you're not connected to the same network. So you all have to be tied into the same wireless network to be able to
Okay.
do that. Yep. Mark?
Before you leave Safari on an iPad, so.
Yep.
Is there a Safari preferences on the iPad?
Yes,
If
but
so, how
it's
do you?
it's not in.
It's
all-
in settings?
It's almost all of those types of things are done in settings. So yeah, so if you go to settings, and then you've got your airplane Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, your notification and control center, then kind of your generalized settings, then you got your iCloud, and then next are kind of the built-in apps, mail, contacts, calendars, and the bottom, second to last of that section is Safari. And then from there you can adjust
Okay.
certain
so
settings.
Beth's is somehow queued to, every time she hits a hyperlink or opens a new page, it opens in a new window. So she ends up with 20 windows open in
Right.
Safari. So to cure that, she would,
I think it's this one right here, open new tabs in background.
okay.
You leave that one on all the time, don't you?
I do, but some people don't want it taking you to a whole new web page. So if you click on something, if you click on a website within a website, it'll just forward you to the next section in the website. But if you click on a link, in Safari on the iPad, it'll take you to a whole new tab. And the idea behind that is to preserve your original website that you were at. Not that hitting the back button wouldn't work, but then you've got two separate websites working on two different tabs.
So it's better to have it on.
It's personal preference. I like it. Beth doesn't. She wants to have it all. She doesn't want to have 30
Just
tabs
wants to
open
have
at once.
one
She just wants to have one.
window.
Yep. And it's a little more difficult to navigate on the iPad because the more you do it, the tinier. See, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs open, and once you start opening more, these tabs get tinier and tinier, and then you start you got to scroll to find your tabs.
So to prevent that, you close that open new tabs in the background.
Yeah, you check it so that it's no longer lit up green.
There you
So that means that it deletes that off, it's no longer functioning on your computer now?
So that if I were to click something, instead of popping up a new tab like this, it would stay in the same tab.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
So-
when you close that tab, then all of it's gone from both sides of the story there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then, yeah, and then that's another way. If you want to get a more visual, the two squares will show you a visual representation of your tabs. And if you do have multiple devices like I do, you can actually, this is called handoff, is the term that they associate with it. I can pull up things from my iPhone and my MacBook Pro. So if I have tabs open on my iPhone, I can open them on my iPad, even though my phone's just sitting here locked up and closed. So, for example, here's the manual for an espresso machine. It was open on my iPad and it takes me exactly to the page, because there's 15 as a PDF, and this is on page 15 of 18 of the PDF. This is exactly where I was. It doesn't just take you to the main site, it takes you to exactly where you were. So,
That's really nice.
yeah, and that works with, if you're writing an email on your phone and then you get home and you're able to pull out your iPad, as long as you still have the email app open on your phone, from the lock screen of the iPad, see, there's the mail button right there. I swipe up from that corner, and now I've got an email started to Larry Johnson.
And that's a feature, or is it switchable and turn it on or off?
I think you can turn it off. I don't know where that would be. Oh, there it is. So under General, Handoff, and Suggested Apps. So if you don't want that feature turned on, then you would turn Handoff off. You can also, this Suggested Apps, what it does, so if your phone is locked or your iPad is locked, and say you're at Fred Meyer and you don't have the Fred Meyer, or even if you do have the Fred Meyer app installed, in the bottom corner where you see the little mail icon right now, a little Fred Meyer icon will appear there. And if you flick from that corner of the screen, it'll pull you up to the App Store to the Fred Meyer app to download. If you have that app, like I do, because I use it for my scan, you scan for your groceries at the end, you get your reward points. I just flick from there and it pulls me right up into the app, and then they can scan the barcode. So it does things like that also. But if you don't want that feature turned on, because sometimes it can be annoying, then in the same Handoff and Suggested Apps,
In general,
General, Handoff, and Suggested Apps, which is, so you got About, Software Update, Siri, Spotlight Search, and then Handoff and Suggested Apps. So,
the iPad 2 must not
are you, which,
have. I'm on general. and
but what
About
OS are you running?
the new one.
It is 9?
9.1, yeah.
Well, it should be in 9. Interesting. Maybe the iPad 2 doesn't.
So this is general and then it's about?
No, General, and then go 5 things down. It should say Handoff and Suggested Apps.
I see accessibility.
Right, should be a, so see if you look on the screen, About, Software Update, Siri, Spotlight Search, Handoff, and Suggested Apps.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Is yours an iPad 2? Or-
It's a 3.
Yeah. Must be new.
Maybe it's only, I don't know why that would be. Well, then you
Well,
guys,
iPad 3 and iPad 4, they're two different. The stuff on the screens are different.
sometimes they'll release, just like Sandy's new 6S has the 3D touch, and that's because of the hardware inside the phone. Just like we have the Touch ID on the little bar here, and Mark's doesn't. So that's how they get you to buy the new phones, is they put in new features that can only be accessed through the new phone because of hardware specs. But that may be on the phone still. So if you want to check it out, it will definitely be on your phone. So you can check that and turn those things off if you don't want them on. So
That is kind of weird. You'd think the capacity would be.
yeah, unless it was a feature that you guys turned off and didn't no, but it should still be there to turn it back on if you wanted to. It's on your phone. And is it turned on?
Yes.
Okay.
Both are.
I was just wondering if maybe it had to be turned on the phone for. No, I don't.
Yeah, it's on the phone. 5.
I'm not sure. Maybe it is just the version of the iPad is not new enough. I don't know why that would be. I don't know. So Joan was asking, and I don't know if she's online right now, but maybe she'll watch this later. She was asking about. Let's pull up the email real quick. So she was asking about tablets. And I know Bill's been asking about, unfortunately, they're not here this morning. They've got another commitment. But was asking about tablets and what are the benefits of tablets. Here we go. Hearing about tablets, if you haven't recently discussed this already, I know nothing about them. So for me, you could start from scratch. What advantage do they have over a laptop? So advantages are they're lightweight and they're portable. Those are two great things. I think I've mentioned this before, but unless I really strongly feel that I need a full-size laptop when I go on trips, I bring my iPad. I don't bring, and the nice thing about iPads, they no longer check them at security, or any tablet. She's asking about tablets in general, but any tablet, they don't check in security anymore, so you don't have to pull it out, so you can just leave it in your. Becca and I travel with backpacks, and so we just leave them in our backpacks, and they scan them, and no issue anymore. So that's really nice also. You can also, again with travel, if you're flying on an airplane, you don't ever have to shut off your iPad anymore from the second you get on the plane until you get off, like you do with laptops. So that's another nice convenience, because I love reading books while I'm on the airplane. So I used to have to shut it off, wait for 30,000 feet, then turn the iPad on, and then I could read my book. And then I'd have to shut it off when you have to shut off your electronics. But now I can get in the plane, buckle our seatbelt, get all settled, and then I can just start reading my book and not have to worry about it. So that's another kind of convenience thing for traveling. But again, and if you touchscreen is a great feature for people who are used to or getting used to touchscreen. If you're finding that very easy and intuitive, it's easy to just go into your apps and do all those kinds of things. But some of the limitations I think we've also talked about, because Bill was wondering if he should get a laptop or a tablet, like a high-end tablet, and storage is a huge limitation on tablets. And so that's definitely something you want to keep into consideration if you're storing pictures and videos and different things like that. Tablets don't have a lot of memory, especially iPads. iPads, the largest you can get is 128 gigabytes, which does sound like a lot, but ultimately when you are storing those pictures and videos and you're installing apps, some apps are several hundred megabytes, and you get 10 of those on your tablet, and you suddenly have 50 gigs gone from your device. So all of that will add up. And some of the other tablets, like the Android and the Windows ones, do have external memory slots for increased storage. So that could be another alternative for that. And so I think those are the main things to consider: is portability. You know, if you're just browsing the internet, if you know, even shopping is easy on a tablet. You know, if you're into Facebook and those kinds of social media things, if you want easy access to applications and not have to search online for them, and you just have that store, the App Store, the Windows Store, or Google Play Store for Android. You know, it's all right there built in. And the nice thing is, with at least Windows and Apple, they're all approved, so you're not going to get any malware. You're not going to. They're very secure. Tablets in general, as long as you don't mess with them, are more secure than a traditional laptop, especially Apple devices. So those are kind of the basics of what you would consider when deciding between a laptop and a tablet, you know. And then there's always, you know, the physical keyboard, and there's just more you can do with an actual laptop because of the physical limitations of a iPad or a tablet. So those are all things to keep in mind when deciding. Because for some people, you know, it's a decision between two, not let's get both. And, you know, for some people, that's not practical. So those are definitely some things to consider when thinking about a tablet versus a laptop. All right. Hopefully that was helpful for Joe. Anyone else have other questions, thoughts?
I have a friend that's urged me to start a blog. And
Yes.
yeah. And so I looked at the different sites, and I think she suggested, I may have the name wrong, WordPress?
WordPress.
WordPress.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's WordPress. There is, Google has one called Blogger. WordPress seems to be very popular among lots of people. And they just released I don't remember where I saw this, but WordPress just released a new update to their entire ecosystem,
Wow.
if that's the right way of wording it. Let's see if we can get this pulled up on screen for people.
Can you do a summary of the blog?
Yeah, so blogging, and it's still pretty, I think that there's actually been a resurgence in blogging in recent years. So blogging is, it can be, basically you create a website, and by create is, sounds daunting, but the way that these websites do it for you is very simple. Basically, you choose a template, and you can modify the template to your needs.
Excuse me.
Bless you. And a blog, you have an interest, you have a hobby, you just use it as blogs kind of started out as kind of a precursor to things like Facebook or Twitter. So you could have like a family blog where you would, you know, and almost like a journal, but a public journal or diary. And so you would say, you know, today we went hiking at Lake Cushman. You know, you can put pictures in there too, and then you write some text and add another picture and write some text. And so a diary or a journal about your activities. Or people have blogs about specific interests. A couple weeks ago, I showed you all those subscription boxes that you can do, the monthly subscription boxes, whether it's food or clothing or nerd stuff or whatever you want. There's those different subscription boxes that you could get monthly. That website that I showed you is a blog. And so, you know, each entry, you can click on each separate entry, and each one had kind of a little preview, and then when you click on it, it brings up the entire post. And so, anything that you're interested in, there are some pastors that have blogs about, their thoughts on the upcoming text for the next Sunday, and they just post them every single week. Which is, I guess, you fall under the category of interest or hobby.
So anybody can get in there, or can you limit it? Or
You can. I don't think you can limit them visiting the website, but you can limit comments
okay.
to nobody, to people who are signed into the WordPress website or Blogger website, or you can limit it to specific people by email address. If I remember correctly, I used to do a blog with some friends of mine back in seminary. And so you can limit it based on that, and that's what we did, because it was more of like a collaborative thing amongst ourselves than it was to throw out to the world. And so we limited it to just our group of people. So you can do that as well. But as far as people actually seeing it, there's nothing you can do about, well, there are some limitations that you can do, but there's no, they just can never find it. One of the things you can do is you can, WordPress or Blogger has a directory, and you can just put a little check mark, I don't want to be in the directory, kind of like you do with a regular phone book. And then so people won't just come across it randomly by being on WordPress. And then other than that, the only way someone's going to find it is if they know the physical address, just like WordPress.com. So it would be, mybigGreatIdea.wordpress.com. If they don't type in mybigGreatIdea.word, they're never going to find the website. So it's not like it's just suddenly out there and people are going to know about it. No one's going to know about it unless you tell them about it. So in that sense, it's not public. It is public, but if you don't advertise, people aren't going to look for it just randomly. So yeah, so a blog, you just go on there and you, I think I have so what's your blog about? So here you go. It's about health and wellness, writing and books, education organizations, arts and entertainment, family home. So we'll just click family home and lifestyle. I'll talk about my garden. And then there you go. Here's the templates that they think based on that information I just gave them. And so you just look at them and say, okay, so this has it's got a big picture on top, and then these are little pictures underneath. And so you can kind of pick, this one's more basic with just words. There's another more basic one. This one looks very graphical. And then, yeah, so then you can, for free, you will get whatever you title your blog.wordpress.com, and that's where people will go to your blog, to your website. Or you can create your own, mybigGreatIdea.com, and then you pay $18 a year to own that domain, is what they're called. So if you didn't want the WordPress.com part with it, then you would pay starting at $18 a year for your own website, like eBay.com, Google.com. They pay whatever, but so you can do that as well. And then if you already own one from a different location, there's all different places that sell domains. Then for $13, they'll route that domain to WordPress, basically. So that even though it's, mybigidea.wordpress.com, they will then forward that so that if people type mybigidea.com, it'll go to this WordPress site. So then you enter it in, and then you just start creating. And it's very visual. Everything nowadays is visual. What you see is what you get, is what they WYSIWYG. Nothing, you don't need to know coding. You don't need to know anything. There's the bold icon, italic, underline. You choose your font size, your font type. It's all there just like you're writing a Word document.
Can you change the pictures or those?
Yeah, no, you can change anything and everything on it. So if you want, the big picture, the banner picture, you click on the little edit button on the website and you click on that picture and you can upload one from your computer.
Cool.
And it'll replace it. Sizing and things might look a little weird because of that. So you may have to, they may have an auto cropping tool, and so you can see and move the picture around so that you see what part will be inside the banner and what will be cropped out. But yeah, everything is adjustable. You can, some of the things that I used to do, you can have 1, 2, or 3 columns, like when you're writing a text, so it can look more newspaper-like, or it can just be a single column and just with text. You can have little links on the side to, they can click on December 2015, and then they'll see everything that you wrote in December 2015. January 2016, they'll see everything that you wrote then. You can have little word clouds. So if you put little tags at the bottom of your post, like, and then you have your little word cloud on the side, and so they can, maybe I want to know what's going on with their cats, and so they click on cats, and then it'll pull up any post that you tagged with cats in it, or cars, or fish, or automobiles, or whatever. And so they can find it based on either month and year, or based on topic. Basically, is what tags are, is topics. And you can have multiple tags. So if you went to you went on vacation and you tagged, California, and you tagged Nevada, or, all those tags can be associated with one post.
If you wanted to make a website,
Yep.
okay, how did we do this?
Well, this is a blog, which is a specific type of website, mostly centered around text and pictures. So not, there are other websites like Squarespace, which will help you create a professional looking one where you can even add an online store and different things like that. WordPress, although WordPress can do that type of stuff, it's very versatile. But if you're wanting to create a standard blog style, they do that very well. That's where their origin started. But there's like Squarespace.com is very popular right now, and they will create you a very professional. And again, it's all templates. You don't have to say, you don't have to pay them hundreds or thousands of dollars to create you a website from scratch. They have templates and you can switch the pictures. But that one, you do have to pay. You get like a week free to try it out and see if you can get something that works for you. And then they cut you off and then make you pay I think it's a monthly subscription fee to use their service. But WordPress is free, which is one of the good things about them.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, and you can't really, maybe on there. Yeah, so you create a blog, create a website, so you can choose.
So you're saying WordPress is the best way of going?
No, I mean, Blogger does a good job. There's a whole bunch out there, and I have not done one in many years, so I would not know what else is out there right now. Those are the two that have been around for a long time and that I know of. Blogger used to be independent and then was bought by Google. WordPress is still WordPress. But there may be others out there that I don't know of. I haven't looked at them in years. I was trying to see if they would show some WordPress blogs, but I'm not seeing anything. Let me see if so this is the one. This is the one about the monthly boxes. Let's see if we can get it to pull up. And I just wanted to Why are we not showing this? Let's see, because sometimes on the bottom it'll say, does not. Sometimes if you scroll down to the bottom of a website, it'll actually say, you know, created by WordPress or using a WordPress template or something like that. I thought maybe this would have that also. But see, so you got your banner at the top, got links to different sections, and then here's the different posts. So, you know, you can, this one's very simple, very basic, but at the same time, does exactly what it needs to do. You can add a little search box to them if you want, and they can just type in their own phrases or words to try to search for things.
Well, I think simpler and basic is sometimes better than some of the ones I've been on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sometimes they can get really complicated
Yeah.
for no good reason. Yeah. Yep.
You were gonna tell us about something called something Fi.
Oh yeah. Project Fi. So Project Fi is. I just saw this morning. Google is looking at experimenting, because I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but Google experiments in all kinds of different things. And then if it crashes, it crashes. And if it doesn't, then they make money off of it. Like they tried to do the glasses.
Cardboard.
No, cardboard's still going around.
Yeah.
The Google Glass, where, you know, you'd put on your Google glasses and up here I'd be reading my email while I'm looking and talking at all of you, or I could take a picture of Sandy right now. And so that was a flop and that failed, but you know, they moved on. So Project Fi is one of their new things, and it is trying to take on Verizon and Sprint and AT&T and T-Mobile, offering they only have 2 phones that are compatible based on the type of antenna that's in the phone, but super cheap cellular service. And the whole premise of it is, you know, the 4 big companies that I just mentioned are kind of dictating to everyone what, how much you should pay for your cell service. And Google says you're paying too much. Of course, Google is all about free for the most part. And so they want to, they want to try to break into that market and offer people, you know, just like they're trying to, they've got their Google fiber optics that they're offering in large cities also, and trying to offer people cheap, high-speed internet. And so this is kind of the next step of saying, we're also going to experiment, see if we can offer you really cheap cellular service.
They're
So-
putting in a high-speed internet system in Kampala, Uganda. For
Yep.
some sort of
Yeah.
wide area Wi-Fi something.
Yeah, and I was one of the podcasts I listened to is called Twit This Week in Tech, and I guess Mark Zuckerberg I don't know if he had a press conference or was just in the news recently, the Facebook guy, and he's investing, maybe not a project specific, not this specific project, but projects like this, and because if he can help get internet there and he helps do that, then people will know about Facebook, and he's just exponentially growing his audience base. And he firmly believes that the world should be connected, but you know, why not also throw out Facebook and the other things that I own out there while I'm at it?
Sure.
And somebody has just come out with calling over Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
two phones only or something like that.
Mhm.
Samsung.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing that. I also saw that they're.
With the expansion of Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
to one day it'll be like GPS, it'll be everywhere.
Yep.
And then cellular will kind of go away, and we'll do everything over the Wi-Fi.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you can Wi-Fi call I don't know which versions, but I know mine and well, obviously Sandy's does, but our phones can do Wi-Fi calling. You go, it's called FaceTime audio. So if you click on your FaceTime, and then you can choose audio or video, and that's just Apple's way of saying we do Wi-Fi calling with other phones. So the example, I don't know if I've given it in this class before, but the example I've given to people is downstairs where the internet comes into this building. Every so often we have to reset it, and there's no signal down there, no cellular service from AT&T. And so I rebooted the system, and then I saw the little Wi-Fi pop up on my phone, but the still had no cell service. So actually FaceTime audio called Becca up here instead of running all the way back up here and then having to go back if it didn't work. And I called her and I said, so is because that half of the building, the Wi-Fi was working, but this half wasn't. And so I called her on the Wi-Fi audio, and we talked, even though I had no actual cellular service. And I said, hey, is it up and running? And she said, let me check. So we pulled it up. Yep, it's working now. So then I instead of running back and forth several times. So yeah, so it's out there. It's limited, and obviously with FaceTime audio, it's only to other Apple devices. But I saw some of that this morning, but it's still kind of early, and communication is not universal. And there's I think that's what it was. There's some new phones on the fairly new phones on the market that are super secure phones. The Carbon phone, my Carbon something. And they're super secure, basically military government grade phones. But this article said that consumers are buying them like crazy right now. Just because they want a phone that's secure, that people aren't trying to hack into or overhear conversations or take their data for whatever reason. And so they're getting more consumer purchases than they are business or government or those kinds of purchases.
What are they spending?
I have no idea. I just saw the article and I wasn't interested in buying one of those phones, so I didn't even look. So yeah, there's so this Project Fi. I'm always interested. Google kind of, for better or worse, sticks their nose out there and sees if they look and see, does it work? And they tried to do, I think but one of the ones I remember that they goofed up the most was they tried to scan books. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but they were trying to make a digital library of books, and they just decided to start scanning them without permission from publishers
I remember that.
Right.
So Google, I think they're doing better now, but they're always trying to push the envelope and everything.
How do they do that? These like free books on Kindle. They're hundreds of thousands. So does somebody sit there and punch that in?
I don't know who does it, which is why you can get that same book that's paid for, because someone put in the effort to do that. But the reason why they're free to begin with is because they're from, like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Obviously, she's not getting rights to those.
But mechanically, does somebody have to fat finger that in, or do they have scanning technology?
I think there's a little bit of both going on. But, I don't think scanning, I think they'd have to finger it in, because if you scanned, then you're copying it from someone who did actually publish it, like Del Rey Books or Penguin or whoever. So you can't do that. So someone's actually, because Barnes & Noble has a EPUB program that you can use for free, I believe, and, write your own digital book. I forget what it's called, but they have one. So maybe they use something like that. Some people are incredibly fast at typing, and but yeah, scanning from something that's been published is illegal.
They have a robot that turns the page.
That's right.
Scans it, turns the page.
But yeah, I mean, things like I talked about before, you know, there's people who have read audiobooks of things like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or I listened to the entire Wizard of Oz series, and it was all free because there's some website where you can go and say, I think they have to approve you. You can't just do it and put it up there, but they host free audiobooks of these books that are free. But yeah, I mean, all the classics, you can pay for them physically or you can pay for them digitally, but you can also find free versions of the classics out there because there's no one actually owns the rights to them. So, yeah.
Thanks much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I just downloaded or went into that Project Fi
Yeah.
out there. It says we're just still determining your status.
Yes.
Status. Wait, check back in a week or so.
Yep.
Is
So
it reality?
What? Bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Is it a reality? It's a week and it's or thereabouts?
I have no idea. I just signed up today myself.
Oh.
I got a strong sense that I'll get rejected simply based on the fact that we live in Shelton, and well, they have to put up all the infrastructure, and I don't think they're going to put up infrastructure in Shelton, Washington, to test this market.
Okay.
So, but I thought I'd just try it anyway, see what comes back, see if maybe we're close enough to Olympia. But maybe they will say yes, but and then it would also require buying that phone. But you know, I'm into that stuff. I thought it'd be worth a shot.